Well, hi there, this is DBT, and alright, it's time for another En Tuk micro showcase. And today, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, we're gonna be looking at the Angry Bony Boy. Now, of course, this is a Redux, so the whole point of this video is actually to show you the sprites, the new sprites for the monster, and I also talk a little bit about a few changes that the monster now had, or has? I don't know how to conjugate. Anyway, so the Bunny Boy, the Angry Boy. Obviously, as usual, Abyss Walker doing an amazing job with the sprites on taking the Doom Eternal version of the monsters and adding some editing them so that they look a bit better in a Doom 2 setting while still retaining basically the details from the original sprite. So, as far as the behavior of this guy, actually he remains pretty much the same thing that you had seen before, with only a couple of little tiny changes. The attacks, as you can see, they remain the same, although the visual effects have been changed a little bit so that they're more visible and they look slightly fancier. You know that I've said before that for En Tuk I'm looking to add a bit more particle effects compared to something like D4T, but at the same time trying to keep it somewhat performant. Obviously it's not going to be as good a performer as D4T was, just because obviously the more effects you have, the slightly heavier it becomes, but I don't want to make it super heavy either, so I'm looking for the sweet spot to between, you know, effects and performance. So anyway, like I said, the attacks remain pretty much the same, where he does the barrage with tiny rockets, the dodge with again tiny rockets, and then is the jetpack attack, in which he randomly goes up and then shoots these rockets, which as soon as you dodge, they're gonna lose track of you. Oh, dude, wait. You didn't let me see it. Come on. Alright, so they're homing at me, but I dodge and they lose track and they go somewhere else. So yeah, those attacks remain the same, although now we actually have a nice melee animation. There's a little bit of a peculiarity with the melee attack for this guy, and that is that I didn't want him to be just trying to slap the living crap out of you as soon as he was close. Instead, what he will do is, if you're close enough, he will smack you once, twice, and then he will run away a little bit and then decides if he wants to do another attack. I just didn't want him to be stuck on a slap, 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 slap animation, you know? So yeah, tiny changes. Like I said, I've been working a little bit in the AI department just so to make it slightly more interesting. And I'm not gonna say that, wow, he's so advanced or anything, but you know, tiny changes. Like the fact that now, if you're out of his sight, he will actually be walking around, and only when he sees you, he will be running. Now, this is obviously kind of difficult to see, because, you know, if we want to look at him, he's seeing us. He also can see us, except I found that if we do it over here, if we put this guy over here, and we look at it from below, he actually doesn't have a line of sight. So you can see he's walking around. He's like, where the fuck did he go? Where the hell is he? And as soon as he sees you, he starts running, because he's like, oh, there he is, let me slap him. So yeah, it's a tiny change. Is it gonna make a huge change or a huge difference in the gameplay? Not really, but you know, it's a tiny little detail that I wanted to add, just because we have the sprites for him walking around. So yeah, there's like I said, a couple of changes here and there, nothing major, just little details to try to make this a bit more interesting. So that's basically it for this monster. There's not a lot to show, except that I do want to very quickly talk about the size of the monster. I just don't want you to be fooled, because these maps are huge, super tall, so that makes it so that the monsters don't look as tall. But compare the Revenant to a regular sized monster, this guy is pretty much as tall as a Doom Slayer. You can see this guy is considerably taller. And you know, this actually creates a bit of an issue with if it fits on if it fits on the maps or not. So for that, there's going to be a version of the monster that is, I talked about this before, but there's going to be a version of the monster that fits in the map, and then there's a mapper version of the monster, which people creating custom maps like this can put in their own map, so that, you know, it uses the bigger version of the monster that is a bit closer to the size. Now, if we look at him, yeah, you can see he's considerably tall. He's almost twice as tall as the Doom Slayer. So then if I show you the other version of the monster, the one that is going to be spawning in the map itself, you can see it's a bit tall, but it definitely is a bit tinier. Still definitely taller than the Doom Slayer, but nowhere near as tall as the other one, just because this guy needs to fit in the map. And honestly, the hitbox of the regular Revenant is absolute nonsense. In fact, let me show it to you. Oh crap, I forgot to no target here. Alright, Revenant, regular Revenant. Well, let's do a headshot. Ha, you can't! because the shots go through him, because the hitbox doesn't match at all the size of the sprites, and this has always been a problem with some of the Doom monsters. The hitbox is actually way lower, it's somewhere around here. This guy in fact is the same size as the Doom Slayer in regards, or let's say the Doom player, in regards to the hitbox. It's just that the sprite is way taller. So that's why I was saying that if we compare it to a version of the monster that is going to be spawning in the map, yeah, this guy looks tinier, but it is just so that it fits on the map. Compared to the mapper version of the monster, which is the one that a mapper can put in a custom map, well, yeah, this is way taller, and actually it's way closer to the size of the regular Revenant, and also closer to the size of the Revenant in Doom Eternal, that is almost twice as tall as the Doom Slayer. So there you go. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a size comparison so that you can see why some monsters are going to be looking a bit smaller when you encounter them in a regular Doom 2 map compared to the version that you might find in a custom map like this, created specifically to use monsters that may be bigger in size. And this extends to pretty much all of the monsters that are going to be found in this game. So keep that in mind. Don't judge the tiny Revenant. He might be baby, but he still hates you. Don't worry about it. So alright, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you're enjoying all this content. I say all this content as if I uploaded a lot. But you know, I'm still working on this, still working on that particular monster that people really want to see. It's almost ready, so... oh man, I can't wait to show it to you. As usual, I'm gonna plug my DVT's Vrooms YouTube channel. I'll put a short clip over here so you can see what it is about. It's all about racing games. So if you want to see some of that, why don't you check the channel, link is in the description. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care everybody, and stay safe. Bye bye.